so long is like alchemy.
Take a look at Kevin Durant. Maybe not so pleased he's Team LeBron as the Warriors get their all-star jerseys. And Andre Iguodala, if y'all don't know, in the locker room, he's the HNIC, figure it out. KD, the Suns, he's like this too easy. Wide open corner three ball. And Phoenix has really been getting disrespected by the entire NBA. They've done it to themselves. But this newest acquisition, Elfrid Payton, not only did he start the game 7 of 7, but he styles his hair just like Ben Stiller in Something About Mary. I'm going to let that breathe. Steph started off 0 of 4, but eventually pulling up and got it going. I like how he forced his way into an offensive night, but this was the story of the game. Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, the players coached themselves, and they seem to have an extra energy from it. What I noticed is they liked a lot more pick and rolls. Clay with his quiet 16 points in 23 minutes, but they were definitely energized, and the only man that could really snatch the clipboard from Draymond was David West, right? More Steph, Josh Jackson, are you leaving the best shooter in the world open? But he's not athletic, right? Not much of a fight from this young Suns team. Kevin Durant, 8 of 9 for 17 points, and it was pretty much a layup line. And then Bender, look at him. He looks like a scared kid at a middle school dance. He doesn't even want to put his hands on the hips, and Steph makes him pay. But the best thing about this game as a Warriors fan had to have been Andre Iguodala and the rest of the bench. Look at him look back at it, checking for LeBron. Nah, he wanted the lob from KD. Kerr trying to explain himself. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody, first off, on Twitter who shot me a link to the game. I was getting the blackout restrictions living in the Phoenix area, and I was about to lose my shit, man. I thought, I was like, I mean, it's funny. You don't appreciate what you got till it's gone type of thing. Warriors Suns, Monday night. I was like, anyway, but appreciate everybody, Alyssa and all y'all that shot me a link. So obviously the story of this game was the players, coach, huddle, all this thing. And the way that I see it is it's disrespectful. I don't care how I don't think that was the intention, but sometimes it's like something you tell your kids all the time or someone that it's not always the intentions, it's the results. But I mean, I guess that doesn't apply to that quite like that, but you see what I'm saying? I know Kerr's intention was for his team. But how it looks, perception is reality. It was planned against the Suns. They certainly didn't do it against the Spurs, and they're not going to do it against Portland, right? You would think it would be the last game going into the break. They're not going to do it against Portland. So if I'm the Suns, I don't say anything. I don't complain about it. Jay Triano, that's how you say his name, right? They've switched coaches so many times, man. But anyway, you don't say anything about it. You don't make a stink about it. But internally, you have to use that as fuel. You have to be disrespected that they chose to do it against them. Now, word was, Andre Iguodala led practice that day. JaVale McGee was showing video on his laptops and, doing parking lot pimping and all that shit, right? And then, they took turns in the huddle. But by this time the second half rolled around, Draymond Green had wrestled complete control of the clipboard and the coaching. And it was Coach Draymond in the second half. And is anybody really surprised by that? Not so much. The game was really fun. It was an entertaining game, and we haven't had blowouts this season, right? So it was a blowout game. Patrick McCaw came in. He hit a three. He had a couple layups and drives, and that's what I think everybody was excited, including the players and in just the arena. Everybody's aware of Patrick's struggles. Now, going into the half, they pulled him. They said he has a wrist sprain. And you can see the staff checking on him right as he comes out of the game. But if I'm Golden State, there's no doubt I'm sure his wrist is bothering him. I don't think it's like fabricated. But you don't play him in Portland, right? You don't play him in Portland. You let him go into the All-Star break riding the high of the performance that he had at Oracle on Monday night. You let him sit with that for a week and let him have that confidence. So you absolutely do not play Patrick McCaw Wednesday in Portland. That's my thought on that. But the real star of the game was Omri Caspi. 19 points, and he hit a three ball as well. He took 2 of them, so that was very encouraging. The cuts were there. Now, Phoenix, there is something to be said about Phoenix's front line and their communication. Bender and Lynn and Josh Jackson, they're awful right now. They're awful. There's reason teams are just hammering them by 40 and 50 points. So those backdoor cuts were open all night. Casspi took advantage of that. But more importantly, the way he moved up and down the court in transition was what I like to see. Both he and Iguodala, I haven't seen them move and sprint the court like that all season long, and I thought that was very telling. So Casspi had 19, and it's just in time, right? We didn't pick anybody up yet in the buyout season. There were no trades made. Internally, I think they still had more confidence in Casspi and McCaw than us, the fans in the media, have had, right? And maybe they're, Iguodala, you sneaky bastard. You sneaky bastard, Iguodala. And shout out to the fans. There's few of you that are like, yo, man, he's playing possum. And you still believed, because y'all know how I felt and how I thought it was finally father time. But it looks like he is playing possum, man. It looks like he's going to. Now, will the three-pointers start to drop? I don't know. But as far as him in transition, pushing the ball and moving up and down the court, and his defense, it looks like he has flipped the switch. And, maybe this game, we'll see how happens in Portland. But I think coming out of the All-Star break, now, after seeing like the last 10 days from Andre, I expect him to come out and look like the old Andre Iguodala, at least athletically, after the All-Star break. What else happened in that game? I'll talk a little bit about the Suns, because that's where if those of you that don't know, I'm from the Bay, but I'm out in Phoenix, the Phoenix area. I've been out here for 10 years. And so I'm pretty familiar with the Suns. And they went and got Elfrid Payton for a bag of Doritos, right? For a second-round pick from Orlando. Orlando has a new management in there, so they didn't draft Elfrid. But Elfrid Payton, he went nuts. He started the game like 7 of 7. And I have a little NBA comparison for you, and you may think I'm kind of weird. I'm reaching with this one, but he kind of reminds me of Sam Cassell. Okay? And the way I think he's stronger than he looks. And he's patient. He's more athletic than Sam, but he likes to kind of get into the flats, into that no man's range. And then he has a bunch of weird little flip shots. He's not exactly a shooter yet, but he has that confidence. He kind of has that bounce, that alpha leadership. And then he kind of can score from that in-between space. So I see a little Sam Cassell. Obviously, there's no pressure on any of these young Suns players right now. It's kind of a mess. Josh Jackson, who I was high on coming out, I'm not quite in agreement with how they're handling it. I think they need to tighten the reins on Josh Jackson, because offensively, he just has no idea what he's doing. He has this crazy fast runner flip shot floater that really has no chance of going in. He pulls up for transition threes. And if you look at his shot release, his shot pocket is too far away from his body. So it allows defenders to get a piece of it, and he just can't get it off in a tight space. The things that I do like about Josh Jackson are, one, his competitiveness. You can tell he's fearless and his confidence, right? So these are things you can't teach. And then we all know he's an A athlete. So it's going to take some time, but I think he needs a little more structure rather than just like cutting him loose and letting him figure it out. I don't know if that's the right approach for a Josh Jackson. So Portland Wednesday, and then the All-Star break. Be sure to check out my live. I'm going to go live for the dunk competition and the three-point competition Saturday night. I'm going to be turned up. Join your boy Alchemy. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.